Hello mutants, this is another Johnny Brento's JuJu, and today is very special of course because it is January the 1st, 2013. Well, technically okay, it's January the 2nd, but the day I'm recording this is January the 1st, and very excited to wish you all a very, very happy new year on behalf of Mutantville.com, Mutantville Productions, Geo, Strebo, and myself. Had a great 2012 and thought I might kill a little bit of your time today doing a quick recap of a few things and making a few cool announcements for 2013. Obviously, as many of you know, anybody who follows the site, in 2012 we wrapped up Ghost, Tales from Mutantville, and put out the first episode of Mutish's Movie Morgue. Moving at the pace that we typically do, you know, it's a year or two for every big project. So a year in which we can get 3 of them released, bananas, you know, it's just crazy. So we're all really happy about that. And then I've branched out and did a little short film, actually 2, that I've worked on, but I've completed 1, and that was with Robert Fillion, of course, my short film Take That, which has been submitted to Nevermore, and regardless of whether it's accepted at Nevermore, it will in some capacity show at Mad Monster Party in March, and maybe even before that, who knows. But in any case, in addition to that, I have done a few band performances, written the script for a feature film that I want to shoot now. Craziness, right? I think Strebo produced something like 38 episodes of MVP Mutant Radio podcast, which if you haven't been checking out, really entertaining. If you have any kind of a commute, I recommend those because it's a good way to kill time and, you know, talk about or listen to somebody talk about your favorite genre stuff, movie reviews, whatnot. It's a great job, Strebo. I've enjoyed those. And on that note, I'm actually enjoyed them so much that I thought, hey, you know, maybe I have something to add to the conversation, but I can't get with Strebo on a week-to-week basis and record these things. Although occasionally we actually just did our first remote show where Strebo was of course at Strebo Rama Central, and Todd and myself were calling in, you know, via cell phone. It was a rainy night with crappy weather, and we still managed to pull it off, and it sounded pretty decent. So that was our review of The Hobbit. So if you want to check that show out, be sure to do that. So what's going on? Bananas again, bananas. 2013. That's the theme for 2013, right? Bananas, right? No, okay. So Brento's Budget Filmmaking Podcast, which is not at all like MVP Mutant Radio. Really, not about being like, you know, entertaining and, you know, chit chatting about movies and what you should see, maybe what you shouldn't see, that sort of thing. This is really distilled down to my own personal experiences for no budget filmmaking. No budget meaning, you know, anything under a couple of $1,000s, you know, which would be the most that I would ever spend on a production myself. So just things that I've experienced and little nuggets that I've taken away from the various Mutantville productions and the few other productions that I've worked on. So you know, the idea was to have anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, although a couple of them run a little longer than that. Usually they're somewhere in the 14-15 minute range. Episodes that you know, I'll pick out a couple of topics to talk about for each one. I usually record them while I'm driving to work, so that's cool, and then I come back here and edit them, you know, on a weekly basis. But I have managed to amass 18 episodes, so I'll be able to get it on iTunes pretty soon. And the focus, you know, just being on taking your idea and turning it into a short film, or a maybe even a skit, but primarily, you know, a short film, 10 to 15 minutes in length. So it's fun because, you know, it kind of lets me sort of cathartic because I get to kind of reinstate to myself what I've learned on various projects, and you know, it's kind of hard to give advice if you don't do the reading and do the work. So, you know, it's just an encouragement to myself to kind of get my technical P's and Q's together before a particular show, talking about story structure, for example, or, you know, whatever, script writing. So those have been fun to record, and as promised, it's January the 1st, and I just put up the first episode of Brento's Budget Filmmaking Podcast, which you can check out at the bottom of this post. I'd say within a week or so it should be on iTunes as soon as I get all that set up. I think you have to have 5 up there. I'm going to try to put up as many today as I can. But of course it is New Year's Day, so I'm wanting to chill a little bit. It's nice having that day off. 2013, I got big plans, big things that I hope to do. Not the least of which is to keep working on this idea for a feature-length film. Not going to say too much about it in specifics right now, other than Take That was and is a part of it. It takes common characters would take that, but more of a feature-length type project and a much bigger story. I feel like I've kind of come to a crossroads where I have to do things that have big inspiration for me, or I'm going to just go do music, or any one of my other dozens and dozens of hobbies. So this story, it's called Mother of Vampires. It was a really big inspiration for me. I mean, I came to the idea and I went, wow, I can't believe no one's done this one, and I think I have what I need as far as acting resources, filmmaking resources, and just friends, cast, and crew to make a really interesting film happen. And of course, a feature film, that's a big deal. The fact that Mutantville has pulled off this a couple times now, despite any reservations about where is it distributed, where can I get a copy, blah blah blah, which these are always issues. Nothing is as easy as you think it's going to be with regards to getting things on Amazon and stuff like that. Although it's happening in the case of Ghost and Tales, I promise it's going to happen. That's a Johnny Brento guarantee. But it's a big deal to have any kind of feature-length thing, because it's such a colossal amount of work. I mean, and people that have day jobs like we do, it's tough to get that sort of thing done, in short order. And unfortunately, in our case, because it's not just like, Brent makes a decision, okay, I like the look of this filter. I'm going to grade all the footage from Ghost with this filter because it's cool and creepy and it looks great, right? As soon as I do that, Jamie comes, George comes, they sit here like, yeah, everything looked great, except that stupid-ass color you put on everything. I mean, holy crap, dudes, I just spent 3 days doing that, right? So, I mean, like, learning to work together and collaborate with a bigger group, it just took time, So everything that we did had to kind of meet my expectations and the other two partners' expectations. So that's one reason it took so long to, get Ghost out. And then just we never stop. We're always on to the next thing, even though we got this footage that's neither here nor there. It's not a great way to work, but that's how we did it, and that's kind of how we arrived to having 3 projects ready to be released all at one time. I'm interested in doing something a little bit more, editing it along, shooting it. Of course, I've written it, but shooting it as I can afford to shoot it, and editing it along. And I mean, I don't know. I think it needs to be a bigger budget than what I can pay for out of pocket. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to approach that. But what, I'm looking into it. I don't know if I'm going to go the fundraising route, because, to be honest with you, I love to lay a Cleveland steamer on anything on Indiegogo. I've supported a couple things, never got my movies. I supported that stupid-ass salt gun, Bug Assault. Got one, shot it like 12 times. A little plastic salt gun to shoot flies with for $35, and had to wait 2 months to get it. 12 shots, and it's done. So, what can I tell you? I haven't had a great experience on there, and to hear folks on my same level on there just begging for money, or not even on our level, begging for money, it's just like, oh man, you're really hurting the opportunity for really worthwhile original projects to get any sort of support, because poor quality has become the norm, unfortunately, on Indiegogo. I didn't mean to get into a rant there. How did that happen? Who knows? But anyway, so my podcast is launched, and I hope you guys will check that out on iTunes. Brento's Budget Filmmaking is what you would search for. And maybe eventually you'll get into a format where I do some crossover things with Stribo. But of course, always check out MVP Mutant Radio. You can do a search for that on iTunes, or you can listen to it here on the show. So same deal with Brento's Budget Filmmaking Podcast. I will do an episode per week. And the episode will be published with the Johnny Brento's JuJu, which I haven't missed in almost a year now, one of my Wednesdays. So, starting with today, you'll be able to check that out. Give it a listen, and there may be more than one a week, who knows. But at the very least, Johnny Brento's JuJu will come. JuJu will come with an episode of Brento's Budget Filmmaking Podcast. In other news, check out this beard. Chuck Norris, my ass. That's all I got to say about that. But moving right along, 2013, gonna shoot some more stuff with some cool people, write some cool things, make some music, work on fitness. You guys keep hearing me bellyache about that because I never seem to, get into that as hard as I want to. Hoping to do CrossFit coming up here pretty soon, so that's gonna be fun. Probably brutal, but fun. Hey, I'm wearing one of the Take That t-shirts, by the way. Which I don't know. I don't think I'm going to put these out yet because it's this is the short film, and of course the feature film is going to be Mother of Vampire. So all the branding will be directed toward that eventually. But that sounds like a wrap on this episode of Johnny Brento's JuJu. And just once again, want to wish everybody a fantastic and wonderful Happy New Year. Thanks for checking us out, guys, and we'll keep doing what we do. And, of course, we hope to see all of you guys at Mad Monster Party in Charlotte in March. Be there or be square. Also, have your ass right back here next week, Wednesday, Johnny Brento's JuJu. Thanks.